Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Main Event Interviews here on MSP Waves Radio. I go by the username of Main Event on Steemit. I'm always joined by my co-host each week, Poetic Snake. How are you doing, Poetic Snake?
Good evening. I'm doing rather fine today. It's freezing. It's so freezing cold, but I'm here. And how are you?
I am doing great. It is February 7th, 2018. This show is airing live right now on MSP Waves Radio, which is part of the Minnow Support Project. You can find out more about MSP Waves and all of the various radio shows by checking out mspwaves.com. And again, this is what we like to call the Main Event Interview Show, is what we've been calling it, working title as of right now. But each week we bring on different guests from the Steemit community. They can be ranging from brand new users all the way up to witnesses and whales and community leaders. A wide-ranging audience here we have with us as well from all over the world. So that's really fun, and it's great to have you all here with us on this Wednesday evening. It is just after 5 o'clock Eastern Time here on the East Coast of the U.S. where I am, and it should be about 10 o'clock UTC time. What time is it where you are, Sneck? And remind our listeners where you are in the world.
Well, it's about 11 in my evening here, and I'm in the Netherlands.
All right. So once again, everybody, we bring on different people from the Steemit community onto this show. It's a real casual interview show. We just get to know them a little better, find out what brought them to the platform, what they're posting about, things like that, maybe any projects they're working on or communities they've joined. It's just a lot of fun, really, to hear all the different stories from all the different people who are joining the Steem blockchain and the Steemit community. So that's the purpose of this show, and it's wonderful to have you here with us. Sneck, do you want to talk about anything that you've been working on lately here on your blog?
Well, I've been working really, really hard on You Got Snacked. It's my little curation project that I started in January. And I'm building on it. I made a Discord room for it so people can join us there now as well. And I'm hoping to build a bigger audience there and help more people out with their post, give them exposure and, happy bubbles.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, curation is a big part, in my opinion, of what makes, Steemit work. It's people actually going out there and helping others and giving good feedback and trying to help them out with votes and things like that, and trying to help those people that maybe not getting the views that they could be, that type of thing. Curation is awesome. I do a lot of it myself, and it's something, I certainly encourage everybody to do out there if you're using the Steemit platform. Of course, everything you hear on this show is strictly just our opinions. Anything you hear on this show, it's not advice at all. This is all just for entertainment purposes only. All that good stuff. Do your own research. We'll say it now, MSP Waves Radio and its owners take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the show host, myself, or my guests. Statements and show topics are not necessarily the beliefs of the radio station, and the material you hear on this show is provided for educational and informational purposes only.
Do your own research.
Absolutely. But yeah,
Sorry,
no,
I just had to do that.
Go ahead, Snack. Yeah.
Go ahead with hello?
Oh, I didn't hear what you said. Sorry, I thought I cut you off.
Oh, no. I was just saying I had to say the do your own research thing.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I like saying it.
Well, it's important to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have everybody out there listening. Right now we are hanging out in the MSP Waves audience chat room, which you can find on Discord chat. So if you have Discord chat, head over to the Peace, Abundance, Liberty server. That is the home of the Minnow Support Project and MSP Waves. And within that, you can find the MSP Waves audience room, and that's where we're chatting right now. I see a lot of people in there, so that is wonderful. It's great to have you all here with us tonight. Let's see some of these names in here. Let me scroll back a little bit. I see Fun Worlding. I see Menno. Shout out to Menno for always giving us a lot of help getting us on the air each time. Great job. I see Crystal, Friendly, Occupy Wallets is out there. Zavo. Who else do you see out there, Snecky?
I see Soundwave's Photon, and I see Carl Measure, and I see 1110100. Yeah, that one. Elvin's Corner. I don't know. I see so much D-Flow. I see so many new names as well.
It's wonderful. It's
Okay.
great to have you all
Yes.
here. Each week we do this show from 5 to 7 Eastern Time. That's 10 to midnight UTC time here on MSP Waves. So if you're just tuning in for the very first time, this is a weekly show. If you're listening to the recording of the show that I do post on my Steemit blog, you can tune into the show live. You can check it out on mspwaves.com, or you can listen right in the Peace Abundance Liberty Discord server as well.
Or you can listen on mspwaves.com, right?
Yes,
Or
absolutely.
did you already said that?
I mentioned it, but yes, and you can actually find all the radio shows on there as well, and there's so many of them. It's great now that so many people are joining and creating different radio shows. Some of them are music-based, some of them are talk shows. There's a wide variety of topics, and you can find the full schedule again on mspwaves.com. Certainly check it out. It's really a cool thing that's growing, and it's a lot of fun to be a part of.
Yeah, and all the shows are done by other Steemians, and I think that is just amazing.
Absolutely. So again, this show, I've been doing this show for quite a while now. I don't even know exactly when we started, but it's been at least 7, 8 months at least, and we've done a show every week. I started out doing it by myself, and then eventually Poetic Snake joined me as a co-host. And
yes, I slithered in.
well, you started out as a guest too.
Yes, I did. And I had a lot of fun. And then I thought, oh, I need to be on there every week. I need to become friends with him.
Yes, and it is great to have you as a good friend, and you certainly help me out each week with the show, and I appreciate that. And each week we bring on different members of the Steemit community, as I mentioned before. And if you're listening out there and you'd like to be a guest on the show sometime, just send us a message on Discord. Same usernames that you're seeing us type right on the screen and everything. And send us a message. Let us know that you'd like to be on the show. And, it's funny because a lot of people sometimes they say they're shy, or they don't have anything interesting to say. They'll say something like that. And that's so not true. I mean, everybody's story of why they got here, I think, is really fascinating, and there's always something to be learned as well.
I totally agree with you. And I have been saying this for such a long time. If you want to talk about a shy person, you are talking about me. I am super, super shy. And here I am. Get out of your comfort zone. Just do it. It's not scary at all.
Absolutely. And this week, we're planning on having 3 new guests on the show. So it's 3 brand new people that we have not had on the show before. So that's really exciting.
It is.
And let's go ahead and bring our first guest onto the show tonight. He goes by the Steemit name. It's Carl G. Nash on Steemit. Welcome to the show, Nash.
Well, thank you guys. It's a real pleasure to be here, and I'm really excited. And I'm coming here from beautiful, sunny Oregon, so I'm hearing you guys talk about cold weather and it getting dark and snowy, and it's probably close to 70 degrees outside and sunny. So I'm just loving life.
Yeah, it's definitely cold and snowy here. So yeah, definitely be thankful that you're in some sunshine and warm weather, because we're freezing to death here in New England, it feels like.
Well, we're freezing here as well. Winter has returned. No snow yet, though.
And of course, I'm just kidding. We make it through. We're tough. We can handle it. But yeah, no, it's great to have you here with us. And how long have you been on Steemit so far?
I joined in mid-July. I'd been kind of keeping an eye on crypto prices for a while. Actually, mined Bitcoin super briefly in 2011. And the classic story of I don't even have that computer anymore. I didn't have a lot on there, but I've been kind of keeping an eye on the prices since. And I saw an opportunity to kind of get back into the crypto markets as the prices were kind of being depressed in mid-July. So I just started kind of researching different cryptocurrencies, and Steem and Steemit was one of the things I came across, and I thought, well, this is awesome. I post all kinds of creative, fun stuff on Facebook just for fun. Why not try doing that here, and maybe I can earn some cryptocurrency. And that pretty much was the start of what has become an obsession for me. I've been full-time steaming it, spending 40 plus hours a week on Steem pretty much since then.
That's awesome. And so tell us, so before you joined Steemit, had you really been somebody who was like a blogger or a content creator?
Yeah, I've blogged for a number of years on a couple different RPG blogs. I play pen and paper RPGs, Dungeons and Dragons, and different derivatives of that. And so I've got a couple blogs that I had posted about that kind of stuff. But mostly I've also been posting original art and music on Facebook to just my own, personal friends. And that's really what I'm mostly into, is posting original art and music. And I just felt like this was a great opportunity to share with a whole other community of people, kind of get outside of my own little friend bubble. And I've made some really awesome friends and collaborated with some awesome people here. It's been just a great experience.
Now, do you remember? So you do mention before, like how you found out about it in the first place, Steemit.
Yeah, just I was just kind of doing some research on various cryptocurrencies, and one of the things I like to know is what's the use case of a coin if I'm going to be getting into it. And it seemed like Steem had one of the most obvious and easy to understand use cases. I didn't have to wrap my head around some potential future use case. It was already going strong and working, and as soon as I found out about it, basically I signed up that moment, and as soon as I got my account approved, I was on and posting and just off and running from there.
So, what are some of the types of things now that you've been here for a little while, and you've probably got your established blog of the things you like to blog about? What do you like to post on the platform?
Oh man, I'm kind of a jack of many trades here. So I would say the most common topics I'm posting on are original art and original music, but I spent the last 5 years professionally in market research and was a data analyst, and held down a few positions in market research. So I do post some BI stuff, some analysis. Uh, I Steam SQL is no longer a publicly accessible database, but I'm still paying to have access to Steam SQL. So I do some analysis using SQL query, and then run it through my different BI tools to create some data visualizations. So I will occasionally post on that. And also, I'm a steward of Gondor, which is Full-Time Geek's thing, where he delegates out Steam power to people who are, kind of good community members. And so I occasionally will post on the Stewards of Gondor and some efforts that I'm doing through that. And I'm also a curator and community rep, and so I'll sometimes post on that. That's mostly what I'm posting on.
So, out of all those things, what are the things that you like? Kind of, I don't want to say like doing the best, but which ones are you kind of focused on more right now, or something like which one takes up most of your time?
Sure. I mean, to be honest, curating for Curie is probably the single biggest thing that I do, and I spend more time on that because I feel like it's where I can make the biggest difference, where I can find an undiscovered poster, or somebody who's making quality posts and hasn't really gotten a big reward, and submit them to get that huge upvote. And just that feeling that I get when I know what that means to a poster, because I got a Curie, and I at that point I actually didn't even know what that meant, but I woke up and my post was all of a sudden at $150 payout, and I remember that feeling very well. I think I ran out of the bathroom screaming, found my wife, my post is at $150, and she's like, what? And from that, that was within the first few weeks I was on platform, and from that point on, the fire was lit, and it was burning strong. So the fact that I can kind of turn around and give that to new posters now is just an amazing feeling. And that I just feel like I'm really making a difference when I do that, and so that's why I spend more time on that aspect of it. I think my own posting maybe has suffered a little bit since I became a curator in October, but I'm willing to make that sacrifice a little and not post quite as often, knowing that I'm really helping out other users.
So, just in case people might be listening and they've never heard of Curie before, do you want to maybe just kind of briefly mention what it is and how it works?
Sure. So Curie is a curation organization here on Steemit, and there's several curation organizations, and I think that there's room for even more. As you mentioned, I think curation is a really important part of the platform, and maybe a part that's a little underappreciated sometimes, because it's not easy to actually make money as a curator as far as from your curation rewards. And so what the way Curie works is that there are Curie curators who go out looking for new posts. There's guidelines, but it all basically boils down to we're looking for exceptional posts by posters who haven't been receiving significant reward. And when a Curie curator finds a post like that from an author who maybe hasn't, hit it off big yet, we submit the post, and there are Curie reviewers who came up through the Curie ranks and were initially curators first, and whose on-job performance was good enough over 6 months that they met the requirements to become a reviewer. The reviewer reviews the post, and if they agree that, hey, this is exceptional, it's original to Steem, it's not plagiarized, then they upvote it to the Curie account, and there's some really large trailing votes that come in behind Curie. Hendrik de Groot is the biggest one. And so, a Curie upvote, depending on the current price of Steem and everything like that, is typically around $100 or a little bit more that it'll show on the pending post payout. So we're talking a very significant boost up that we can give to these authors. And just real briefly, I would say that Curie has just released a white paper that outlines the organizational details in a lot more detail than I just gave. So you can visit curiesteem.com or look at the Curie blog and look for the white paper there. And the white paper would explain all the details.
And,
Go ahead,
and
Stephanie.
how do you feel? Because being a curator myself, there is also a downside to it. You get contacted by a lot of people who want something from you. How do you handle that?
Oh man, that you are telling the truth. It's really, it is a real issue, particularly because every week Curie releases a weekly update that lists the performance of the curators from the past week, and top curators can recommend new curators to join Curie. And I'm consistently a top curator. I can't say I'm every single week a top curator, but over 90% of the time I am. And so I'm getting people that DM me all the time saying, hey, I want to be a curator. How do I get into this? And of course, you're also getting people saying, hey, my post is amazing. And of course, everybody thinks their post is amazing. It doesn't necessarily mean that it always is, but I've pretty much had to just stop responding to unsolicited DMs. I will be happy to. I spend a lot of time looking for posts. I feel like I do a good job of that, but I just can't actually take the time to respond to all the incoming DMs. When I was doing that, I actually found that I was spending more time responding to DMs than I did when I was working an upper level corporate management job. All the emails that I had coming in from 11 reporting locations took me less time in my corporate job than it took to respond to all these DMs I was getting. I would come away from like an hour away from Discord and I'd have 100 to 200 DMs. It was just insane. So I basically at this point ignore them. So, if I'm ignoring you and you've DM'd me without having previously been a friend of mine, don't take it personally. I just literally cannot spend the time to go through them all.
Yeah, that's got to be not easy to do, and it's definitely tough. And I've noticed there is a mentality sometimes with newer users. They're excited, they're eager to be here. They want to participate and do everything, and they just want to flood you with messages and all that kind of stuff. And so yes, if there's any newer users out there listening, just take your time. Your content will eventually, people will see it eventually. You don't have to go out there and spam it all over the place and do things like that. If you're irritating people or something like that, that's not going to be good. So definitely be very hesitant on DMing people that you don't know and things like that, because sometimes I guess it could work out for you. But in my opinion, I would shy away from that.
Yeah, and it just takes time to get those eyes on your post, and that's the hard part. The first weeks to get to that through that, and you have to sit there, wait patiently, and it's hard. So I also I do understand it, but yeah, it can be super frustrating as well.
Yeah, we've all been new once. We all were new users at one point, so we just totally understand, where people come from in that regard. But if you're hearing this for the first time and you're new, that's one of the things about Steemit and the Steem blockchain and the culture around it. It seems like, and this is just my thoughts and opinion on it, but it seems like there is a culture there of we don't support plagiarism. We don't support, spammers and scammers, and so it's tough when people join this platform because they just don't always know that, and so they're coming from other social media or whatever, and where it's kind of a free for all with what you post and share and whatnot. And when they get here, it's so different because they think they're going to be able to just post simple things that are pointless and make money, and that's just not how it works. And I hope more new users will find a way to, find ways to learn about the Steemit community before they really dive in head first. And hopefully things like curating and things like that can help them once they're here. So I definitely think it's a good thing that you guys are doing a lot of curating out in the community and supporting those users that may not be getting, the types of rewards that you feel they should.
Sure. And just to kind of build on this same discussion about coming in and posting quality content, I think another thing that frustrates people is when you are a new user and you come in and you are posting quality content, that can also be frustrating because you're coming in, you're pouring your heart and soul into this blog, and you wrote this great post, and you've got 10 followers and nobody sees it, and you get a maybe a 1 cent upvote, and that's obviously frustrating. And I think there is where the real value of MSP and PAL comes in, because it helps form this community. You can kind of jumpstart these relations by coming in and hanging out in the different general chat, shallow end or deep end, or in any of the other communities that are here on Discord. But I think PAL is the biggest one, and that was certainly where I would say I got my start. I really first started making relationships with people when I started hanging out in PAL chat. And I think that it's important to remember when you're starting off that this isn't just a blogging platform. You can blog here, but it is also very much a social media network, and that the success that you're going to have really depends on how much you build up these connections. And so time spent in a community, time spent chatting with people, getting to know them, making these connections, that's time well spent that will come back to you in rewards later on. And I think it's just as important to grow these relationships as it is to work on posting quality content.
Yeah, absolutely. Networking is huge, in my opinion. You got to get out there and talk to different people. You got to be commenting on or replying on people's posts, giving them actual feedback and things like that. Joining these different Discord communities that we always mention. There's so many of them out there. Of course, the Minnow Support Project and many others, where people can join and actually talk with different users from the blockchain and interact with them and talk about their content that they're creating and things. All of that is crucial to growing your blog on Steemit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the same way. The more you connect, the more friends you make, the bigger your audience might grow. Might grow. I say might grow because you never know. Of course, it's different for everybody. But if you make connections, at least you are getting deeper into the Steemit journey.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, doesn't matter what you're doing to try, as long as you try, right? I mean, you might reach 10 people, you might reach 10,000 people. I don't know. Like you said, it's going to be different for every user. Results may vary, as they would say, right? And
10,000 people would make me very scary. Not scary, make me scared. I'm scary already. Oh gosh.
you can handle it, Snack. What are you going to do when this radio show hits the big time, right? No.
I don't want to do that. I will fly and hide under the table, probably. No, just kidding. I will just pretend that there's only one listener. Yeah.
No, it's wonderful to have everybody here. Of course, I'm looking into the audience chat room right now, and there's all kinds of people in there. We've got a ton of people listening in the room here, so that's wonderful to see. Welcome everybody to the radio show. If you're just joining us or whatnot, you are listening to the Main Event Interviews radio show on MSP Waves. I go by the username of Main Event on Steemit. I just spell it with a number 1 in there instead of an I. And I'm here with my co-host Poetic Snake.
That's me.
And we are chatting with its Steemit user Carl G. Nash on Steemit. But you prefer to be called what?
I made the mistake of using a different username when I signed up for Discord, and honestly, I've been kicking myself for that ever since. I have no idea why I did that. It was not a smart decision.
Well,
I should have just been Carl Nash, but I'm Nashster over here, and you can call me Carl, you can call me Nash, call me G Nash, call me Alien Eyeball. I'm really not particular.
Yeah, that's one thing about joining Steem, and I did the same thing basically. I used an old gamer tag that I used when I joined Steemit, not really thinking anything of it. I didn't realize my username was going to be such a prominent thing. I guess, like I guess I didn't really, that part didn't click when I joined Steemit because I had no idea what I was doing when I first joined. And, looking back now, I probably would have used maybe a different username. But this one has stuck and it's working for now, so I'm sticking with it. But yeah, on Discord and other platforms, I've noticed it is probably pretty good to use the same name as much as you can. It's good that you put your Steemit name in parentheses. I notice a lot of people doing that, and that works as long as you have your Steemit name there somewhere.
Yeah, I came to that lately. I realized, okay, that I've had to answer that question too many times. What is your username? So yeah, put it in parentheses. Hey, I just realized I've got all my Curie folks here, and I realized I forgot to plug something. And I'm gonna get in trouble here. Curie is running a logo contest, and I should mention that before we leave the subject of Curie.
Sure.
You I know we've got a lot of creative types here in the MSP audience. So if you're an artist or a graphic designer and you want to try your hand at designing a new logo for Curie, first place prize is 100 Steem plus 50% of the SBD payout from the post that announces this contest. You can find the post on the Curie blog. You submit your contest entries in the comments there. You're welcome to make your own post out of it as well. It's not a requirement of the contest, but I always figure if you're going to make a piece of art, you might as well make a post on your own blog as well instead of just dropping it off in the comments. And so I'm hoping to see some familiar MSP artist faces in the comments there on the Curie post, and maybe you'll be the designer of the new Curie logo.
That sounds really exciting, and I think that there are so many amazing artists out here, not only in PAL but on the whole blockchain. So I'm sure that the winner will be, yeah, that will be just a marvelous logo again.
Yeah, no, that's definitely really cool. So people can check that out. Did you say that was on a certain profile that they can find out more about that? Is there like a profile
Sure.
that a post or
Yeah,
something?
just on the at Curie blog. Curie is Curie, and I believe it's the most recent post there. Will be for at least another day, but just scroll back. The contest submissions are open until that post pays out.
All right, awesome.
Soundwaves Photon is asking, does Curry have a motto or a tagline?
That is an excellent question, and we have a lot of Curie folk here. I think it's just we changed it recently. I believe it's just discovering exceptional content. Let me let me just double check that. It is on the Curie blog header. Curie used to have, yes, it's just discovering exceptional content, and that's just it, plain and simple. And I will say that if you were familiar with the Curie guidelines from some months ago, you might not realize that Curie has changed the guidelines quite a bit. It used to be that it was only certain rep ranges were eligible for the Curie, and a post had to be underneath $1 still pending payout. Most of those have been removed. There's now no rep requirement, which is why the tagline is just discovering exceptional content. It can be from anybody. It could even be a Rep 70 user if they haven't been receiving significant reward lately and they came out with a really exceptional post. So really, the Curie should be there to serve as an inspiration for anybody to make really exceptional posting. And even if you're not receiving a big reward, that could actually mean that you're eligible for a Curie. So keep it up, and hopefully we'll find you and give you that big upvote you deserve.
Cool. It looks like somebody found the post too and shared it in the audience, so that's cool. All right, yeah. So no, people can certainly look into that if they're interested. This show obviously, we are not directly affiliated with Curie, but no, it's certainly awesome to find out more things that are happening out there on the blockchain. So thanks for sharing all that.
I do have a few. I don't know if we're running out of time on my segment. I've got a couple
No,
individual projects, so
no,
if
go
we've
right
got a
ahead.
second.
We've got this show airs for it's a 2 hour show here, and we've got two more guests, but both said that they're okay on their times and whatnot. So yeah, go right ahead.
Perfect. I just wanted to talk real briefly about two of my own personal curation initiatives. I have an account called rbot. It's r-bot, and this is a curation account that I started and have shared the posting keys with a number of other curators. So there are 6 manual curators who are upvoting with the RBot account, and it's got a real simple mission of upvoting good, undervalued content. And I purposefully didn't define that other than just saying that we're looking for good, undervalued content. And I brought on curators that I trust and trust to make a good judgment on that. And I didn't want to put a definition on it because depending on the post, a post could have $15 or $20 payout and still be undervalued, in my opinion. So we're basically just looking for good posts to upvote. And we also have a mission of supporting MSP members and MSP posting. I co-founded this account with RougeBot, who's an MSP member, and I believe he's a mini mod here. But he does a curation posting and upvotes the MSP members that he finds with RBot as well. RBot is a vote trail that you can follow on steemauto.com. I think we've got about 36 trailers right now and growing. And we've received some support from Osbit Bank as well. He's one of the vote trailers. So just it's not something that I really publicize a lot. We don't leave a comment when we upload a post through RBot, but it's just we're just going out there and casting 14 to 20 votes a day typically on good content. And I just wanted to mention it as a vote trail you could follow if you want to support that project. And I also have an initiative called Human Certified Original Works. And it kind of arose from the famous Original Works bot that you can call, and which checks your post and gives you an upvote if it's Original Works. And my idea was that, well, this is great, but can we go beyond just like not plagiarized and maybe make a human determination on if something's actually creative and truly original? And I made a badge that's got my alien eyeball logo coming out of it. And when I find posting that I think is just really, truly creative, I'll slap this badge on it. And some other people started, asking if they could get on board with this. And so I sort of turned this into a movement or an initiative. And at this point, there are 14 badge holders who I've made these badges of human certified works for. They're all customized badges with the individual users' profile pictures or some other picture that they shared with me. And so these users are going out, and when they find truly original, awesome content, they award a badge. And my hope is to get a vote bot set up on the human bot account, which is one of my accounts, so that every time one of these badges is awarded by the various people who hold them, human bot will come along behind and upvote the post behind it. I have not got that vote bot set up yet, but it should be coming soon. And human bot is also a trail that you can follow on steemauto.com. And that one has some pretty good support from some higher SP members who are trailing it. I think currently when human bot upvotes, it's about a $3 or $4 total upvote once the trail comes in. And once I get the vote bot set up, it'll be 14 curators out there giving the badges and the vote coming through. So that would be a great one to follow and support if you want to support truly original posting that goes beyond just not plagiarized and has been judged by a human curator to be really creative.
Yeah, no, that's really awesome that you're doing all of that. So, what was the first blog that they could follow? You said it was RBot. Was that what it was?
Yes, R-bot.
Okay, cool. So they can check that out if they're interested. And yeah, no, that's a lot of curating going on right there. So hopefully that will get some undervalued authors, some maybe some more rewards possibly, and maybe pique their interest and help with retention here on Steemit, things like that. I think that's a really important thing because some people say that they've joined and they didn't have a good experience. I've read that in like on YouTube comments and things like that about Steemit videos and things. And they say for whatever reason they joined and maybe they didn't get enough rewards in their first week or two for their satisfaction or something. I don't really know. I can't speak for them, of course, but I have seen that sentiment before.
Yep.
And hopefully, things like curating and groups like that you're creating and a part of can help with some of that, because they're actually actively going out every day and looking for these types of posts.
And the other thing I would encourage too is even if you're a low Steem power user and your upvote is not worth much, you can still make a big difference by leaving a thoughtful comment. And I don't mean to come in and just give a generic "I like the post." If you actually give a thoughtful comment that proves that you read the post or looked at the art and that it made a connection with you, I can almost guarantee you that this is going to mean more to somebody than, your 1 cent upvote or whatever it might be. But you can still leave this comment and actually make a really big difference on people. And I feel like commenting, there's a real lack of good commenting here, particularly on posting by new users. You'll see established users who have these networks and connections made will get a lot of people replying to their posting and a lot of comments. But very often you'll see really quality posting by new posters going by with absolutely no comments, no feedback. And I feel like that's maybe part of that issue when people come on and the only comments they get are spam comments. That doesn't leave a good impression of the platform. When you've got, you make a post and 20 seconds after you make the post, somebody has posted a comment, and you posted a story and somebody makes a comment that's like, beautiful photograph, and there's not a picture in your post, and you're like, you posted that 20 seconds after I made the post, you said beautiful picture, there's no picture in my post. Come on, dude, what are you doing? I can see how that's frustrating. So I guess I would just say, even if you don't think you can make a difference as far as upvoting and curating, you can 100% make a difference by getting out there and being a good commenter. And I definitely urge people to do that.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, if you're a new user and you're listening out there and you maybe are doing those types of things not knowingly, maybe if they're just casually leaving quick little nice picture comments. I mean, obviously what you're referring to is people who aren't even looking at the post at all. But I remember when I first joined, I wasn't really sure what to do on Steemit, so I think I may have been leaving like shorter comments, not really knowing that leaving, an actual thoughtful comment was so much more beneficial to everybody, because other people can come back later and read it, maybe take something away from it. The author can read it as well, and maybe start a communication somehow or whatnot. And that's just a learning thing too, but of course there are the spam comments, and then the comments that are just being created for the sheer sake of just getting hopefully some upvotes, and that's certainly not a good thing.
And actually, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think it's worth explicitly pointing out that you should not upvote a spam comment, even if it seems like it's just a nice comment. If somebody stops by and is like, great post, take a quick look at that user's comment history, and if they've left that same comment in very short succession on dozens and dozens of posting, then it's a spam commenter, and please don't support this with your upvote. It seems silly that you even have to say this, and it seems silly that you would have to kind of be suspicious about people when they come in and leave a generic comment like that. But 90-something% of the time, if you look at their comment history, you will see that they are actually just a spam commenter. And please don't support that behavior is, I guess, all I'm saying. And that's my personal opinion. As stated, this isn't the official position of MSP Waves, but I'm giving you a personal appeal to not support spam commenting.
Yeah, I mean, obviously people in the audience are saying to flag it and things like that, and that is your option. With your Steem power, you have the right to upvote or downvote. So do with that what you want. That's your decision. Do your own research. That's what I always say.
I want to say it too.
Yeah, go ahead, Snack.
Do your own research.
But yes, no, I mean, we could talk about this stuff for days, but it's certainly great to have you here, as a curator, and of course as a content creator yourself. It sounds like that, you joined in July of last year, right?
Yep,
right
July of 2017. Just went over 2,000 followers, so I'm going strong.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, you're a good example of somebody who's been here. You stuck it out, and things are working out for you. So hopefully you'll continue to keep doing good things for the community like we're seeing, and it's been certainly awesome having you here today. Let me see if anybody out in the audience has any questions for Nash.
One.
Go ahead, Snecky.
Yes. Well, he sent me something in DM, and I saw that on his wall as well, and I was hoping that you could tell us a bit about growing up in love, singing to the baby boy.
Oh, sure. I would absolutely love to. And Snack is referring to a post that I just made yesterday, I guess, day before, where I'm a new dad, and I have 2 sons now. And the post I shared is a compilation of songs that I wrote, kind of inspired by my firstborn son, who's now 3, inspired by and or written while holding and or recorded while holding. And so there's 15 or 16 songs that I've put together that are really just kind of a fun way to look at fatherhood and get to see my son grow up from newborn to about a year old. And I do a lot of vocal looping where I'll sing into my loop machine and then sing harmony parts over it. And I think there's some really fun songs there. And the interesting part to me is that without me pushing music on my son, who's now 3, at all, beyond just surrounding him in an environment of music and love, he is an amazing singer and songwriter already. And you can just give him a song topic and he will just spout out a song off the top of his head, absolutely no hesitation. He'll make up a melody line, he can scat sing, and it just really makes my heart swell when I see this and know that he's just going to grow up not even thinking that that's an unusual thing to just be singing and making up melodies and making up songs. So I just wanted to share that with everyone else too. I feel like it's important to have examples of good parenting, and I'm a stay-at-home dad, and I know that that's still not that common. And I think it's important to give examples of a good fatherhood and being a good father. So it was my pleasure to share that post, and I'm really glad you brought it up, Snack, and I hope that it can be a good example for other people as well.
Yeah, I watched it and it touched me, and I just had to bring this up because it's just a marvelous post and something, the music, the songs, the videos, it's just heartwarming.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's a great thing to blog about, and that will be, of course, an interesting story to watch as you continue to, share more about that. So absolutely, I would certainly like to support that. So I'll definitely check out your blog and look into that. That's really cool. Congratulations as well.
Thank you. There'll be a second post coming up with similar songs written to and about and for my youngest son over the past year. So look for that in the coming weeks as well when I get around to putting that out there.
Cool. Well, yes, if anybody in the audience has any further questions for our guest here, Carl G. Nash on Steemit, certainly go ahead and ask while we have him here. Let's see here. Who's in the audience? There's so many people here tonight. It's wonderful to have you all listening. Again, you're listening to the Main Event Interviews radio show here on MSP Waves. I go by Main Event on Steemit. I just spell it with the number 1. I got Poetic Snakes here, my co-host.
That's me.
And we got Carl G. Nash here as well. Nash. And let's see here. So lots of people listening, but it's been certainly wonderful having you here tonight, Carl. It's been great to have you here. Are there any other things you want to mention while you're here?
I appreciate you giving me the time to talk about Curie a little bit in the logo contest, and I think I covered what I was supposed to cover there. And I think I just want to thank you guys for giving me this platform, and it was a real pleasure. Looking forward to sticking around and listening to the rest of the guests.
Absolutely, and I always say if you have any users you want to give a shout out to or anything like that before you get going as well, I can give you that option as well.
Sure. Let me just answer this question real quick here that Jack, I'm sure I'm going to say this wrong, but Jack Johannes Hemp,
yep,
maybe asked, is there a Dutch part for Dutch posts in the Curie curation group? So for the main Curie operations, we're looking to upvote posts that are in English language or at least bilingual. We don't have, reviewing and curating staff to do foreign language posting, but absolutely we could upvote a bilingual post. Now, I should mention something that I did not mention previously is that Curie also supports sub-communities on a variety of topics. I don't believe we have a Dutch sub-community, but if there's enough Dutch posting and there are Dutch curators who are interested, it is certainly a possibility that a Dutch sub-community could be formed. And the way that the sub-communities work is they're more or less separate from regular Curie operations, but have their own rules and regulations and curators. And then Curie comes along and follows behind the vote of the curators for these sub-communities and supports their posting. So maybe the best known or one of the better known sub-communities that we support is the Steem STEM community that is a science and math posting community here on on Steem. There's also a Nigerian subcommunity, many other subcommunities. You can see the full list, and a music subcommunity. You can see the full list of subcommunities that Curie supports every week on the weekly update that Curie puts out on Sunday. And so I guess the short answer, Jack, is no, not currently, but it's something that could happen in the future, and you would kind of have to get some momentum there and get a community going, and then talk to the Curie people, and we could talk about possibly supporting it.
All right. So yeah, I'm trying to see. I didn't see any other specific questions for you. But no, it's certainly been great getting to know you a little better, and we'll follow your blog of all the different things you're going to be doing. You're a busy guy, so it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, thanks again for having me on. It was a real pleasure.
Poetic Snake, do you have any closing remarks here?
Yes, I wanted to say thank you for being on the show. It was really amazing to get to know you a little bit better, and I am looking forward to volume number 2 for sure. And I will also follow the Curie and see what I can do with the logos.
Yeah, bring on the logo posting. I hope to see some of the MSP people there.
Absolutely. Well, all right, everybody. We've been visiting tonight with Carl G. Nash. You can find him on Steemit under that username, Nashter, on Discord. And it's been awesome having you here tonight. We appreciate you joining us.
Thanks again, guys.
All right, everybody. So that was our interview tonight with Carl G. Nash on Steemit. You can, of course, find him in the link that Sneck just shared in the audience chat room, or it's at Carl G. Nash on Steemit. So welcome, everybody, to the radio show. If you're just joining us, or if you just joined us recently, it's great to have you all here tonight. Sneck, are you there with me?
Yes, I am still here.
That was a great interview, huh?
Yes, I really enjoyed it. Learned a lot.
Yes, absolutely. And so if you're just tuning in for the first time, I go by the username main event on Steemit. I just spell it with the number 1 in there instead of the I. And my co-host is at Poetic Snake.
Yes, that's me.
And we do this radio show every Wednesday from 5 to 7 Eastern Time, which is 10 to midnight UTC time, here on MSP Waves Radio, which of course is part of the Minnow Support Project. You can find out more about the Minnow Support Project on Steemit at Minnow Support. It's a community of now over 12,000 different users who have joined us here in Discord to chat, learn, network, talk about their content. There's such a wide variety of discussion that happens here, but it's the Minnow Support Project, which you can find in the Peace, Abundance, Liberty server on Discord. So certainly look into that if you haven't done so yet. We've got a bunch of people listening here tonight in the audience room, which is wonderful to see. Thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. If you've
absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. I can't even see how many people there is. I haven't counted them yet, but there's a lot.
You want me to count them?
Oh no, it's okay. It's a big number. Loud. It's a big number. We want the number to keep even growing, so we won't even say it. But we're certainly excited to have everybody here with us. And if you've missed any of the show tonight, or for some reason you can't stick around for the second hour, I do post the recording of the show each week on my Steemit blog. So you can check it out there. You can go back and listen to previous episodes where we have interviewed other people. Last week we'd had Agrode on the show, the creator of the Minnow Support Project, the founder. We had Team Steem here. We've had such a wide variety of people here lately. It's awesome, and of course, even since the show began, we've been having people on here each and every week from all over the world, all walks of life.
Yes, and isn't that amazing that we are able to talk to all these people all over the world, like a real life conversation. Like I'm on the other side of the ocean most of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm here in North America. You're over in Europe. I'm sure we've got a wide variety of people in the audience. In fact, let's go ahead and do this right now, Sneck, if that's okay. Are you able to help me out here for a moment?
I might be able to help you out. If people like Menno, not trying to fool me again.
They won't.
Because then they make me laugh and then I get stuck.
Either way, you'll be okay.
Yes.
All right, everybody. So before we bring on our second guest here, we'll do what I like to call, we'll just go around the world here and we'll see where in the world are you listening from tonight. So just post your country in the chat room here, in the MSP Waves audience chat room. If you're in Discord, go ahead and post your country, and Snek will try to see where you're all listening from here while I take a quick intermission.
Yes, well, the chat is flying, and I see Wales, I see Dallas, Auckland, New Zealand, the USA, Maryland. I see Boston, USA, and Canada is present as well. And I see a Canadian flag, of course, and the Netherlands is here, and Amsterdam, Netherlands, and UK, London, New Steemland, I see. That's so wonderful. And oh my gosh, yes, the basement. That is one of the best places in the world to be. I see Oregon, United Snakes, Nigeria. I see Earth. Well, that is amazing. I always wanted to be on Earth and just know how it feels to be on Earth. Do they have basements on Earth? Do you know? And I see Bulgaria. The word after Bulgaria I can't pronounce. Plovdiv. Yeah. And caves, they're coming from all the right places today.
Caves isn't a country.
No,
Just
I
kidding.
have a cave.
It could be, I guess. So there's a lot of different countries I see here. I'm scrolling back through the list. That's awesome.
Yeah, what about the one who is living on Earth?
Earth? Yeah, well, I guess we all are just one big country, right? We're all...
Oh, Belgium. Sorry. Had to say that. Jack Johannes is from Belgium.
Absolutely. I just like seeing where everybody is all over the world. I mean, if you could give the number, the geographical numbers, but I wouldn't know where it was. So
Oh no,
it just helps me out. I like seeing where just everybody's listening from. It's really fascinating to me that we reach all these different people all over the world. It's cool.
Absolutely. Makes me feel happy.
Yes. So again, thank you everybody for tuning in. It's wonderful having you here. We do this show each and every Wednesday. So if you're tuning in for the first time, we hope you'll join us each Wednesday night where we interview different members from the Steemit community. And they do range from new users all the way up to witnesses and community leaders and things like that. So it's a wide variety of people from all different backgrounds. So we hope you'll join us each and every Wednesday here on MSP Waves.
Yes, and if you want to be a guest on our show, you can just simply contact Main Event or me here on Discord or on Steam Chat when it's working again, and we would just love to have you as a guest.
Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and bring on our next guest here in just a second, but first I'll just do the disclaimer one more time here. Of course, MSP Waves Radio and its owners take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by myself or the show guests. Statements and show topics are not necessarily the beliefs of the radio station, and the material you hear on this show is provided for educational and informational purposes only. This is all strictly just our opinions. It's certainly not advice. We are not experts of anything.
Do your own research.
Do your own research. Absolutely. But we do have a good time here each and every week chatting with you all and listening to the different Steem stories. So we're going to keep on going here with this week's episode. And False Idols, are you there?
I am. Hey, how's it going?
It is going great. It's wonderful to have you here with us tonight. So you are our next guest here. And tell us whereabouts in the world you are this evening.
I hail from Colorado. I'm in Colorado Springs, Colorado, the United States, right in the middle.
All right, that's awesome. It's great to have you here. Snecky just shared your profile link.
Yes.
Go ahead,
Is
Sneck.
it freezing where you are?
It's not actually really cold. We haven't really gotten much snow. It's kind of weird. I'm used to a lot of snow in Colorado. Being so close to the mountains, I live right off the Front Range. I mean, I can see the mountains right out my window. But we've barely gotten any snow this whole winter. It's just about skipped winter.
Well, it certainly hasn't skipped winter here, so
At least it's somewhere.
you can
You
have
guys need
the
to send some
snow.
of that snow. I need some, man.
You can have it, trust me. But no, it's wonderful to have you here with us this week. And how long have you been on Steemit so far?
I'm still pretty fresh. I just started December 5th. Yeah, so I'm brand new, I guess, still.
Awesome. And do you remember how you found out about it or what brought you here?
Yeah, so kind of a combination of things. I make music and art and stuff, and kind of, similar sentiments to what I hear from a lot of Steemit users, not really liking Facebook and their reach on Facebook. Was getting kind of salty over there, because I make music, and it's like no one was, I was getting no engagement on my posts, no one liking any of my stuff, and I'm like, man, this is kind of disheartening. Put your heart into your art and stuff, and it goes unrecognized. And I saw a friend had posted on Facebook about a local Steemit group that I'm a part of. The Rocky Mountain Steemit is what they're called, and she was talking about it on the Facebook. They're having a meetup, and I'm like, what is Steemit? And she kind of educated me a little bit on it. I immediately, I went and I looked into it. And as soon as I started doing some more research on Steemit, I was, I don't know, just really, really excited at the potential, what it could allow me to do. And it's like a whole new place, whole new audience of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the thing I always think of is it's just different than other social media. It's totally different. It seems like it's a whole different world over here on Steemit. It's a different culture. It's a different atmosphere. It's, of course, you get rewarded for your content versus just sharing it to the audience for nothing. It's a totally different world over here. Does that seem to be the experience you're having with it?
Oh, absolutely. And at first it was, kind of confusing. You come over here, and I was really new to the crypto world as well. And I'd heard about Bitcoin back when I was in college, 8 years ago, obviously kicking myself. I didn't buy into Bitcoin way back when, but really new to the crypto world and coming over here. A lot of the posts, like some of that stuff didn't make sense to me. You have all these different altcoins, and so it took a ton of time for me to really understand, what everything was. But that's really what it is. One of the biggest things was, how about the community everyone was and how helpful everyone was. And I'm definitely one of those people who is all about learning, and I have a lot of questions, and I'm not too shy to tell people what I don't know. And people over here on Steemit are just so helpful. And I've been trying to recruit people from my Facebook. I go over there every once in a while just to tell people how awesome Steemit is. And some people they're very skeptical. I'm sure a lot of other people have had similar experiences trying to get Facebook users over to Steemit. I'm slowly convincing them, because I've been pretty persistent. And you see them make all these comments like, oh, I hate this. But then, kind of like what you guys are saying too, there's some learning curves when you have people coming over to Steemit. So I've had some new people come over, and they, I've had some people not be super into it. And it requires some work, and you got to get involved in the communities. You got to talk to a lot of people. And I guess for some people, it's kind of hard to start over again, I guess, over on Steemit. So.
Yeah, that aspect of it is a challenge, I'm sure. If they're people who are established with a bunch of followers on other platforms, but they can also try to bring some of those people with them too. I certainly think that's important too. If you're somebody who's new here to Steemit, but you do have followers on your other platforms, well, there's nothing saying you can't let those people know that you're on Steemit now and that type of thing. So
Exactly.
it is going to be an interesting transition. More and more people seem like they're joining. We're here in the Minnow Support Project, and the growth here has been really big lately, the last few months. So it seems like there are a lot more people who are at least testing the waters, I guess I would say.
I think so too.
I've been trying to get my Facebook friends over to Steemit as well, and they just think that I'm a total idiot. And no matter how hard I try to show them I let them see my post. I let them see interactions that I have, and they're still looking at me like I am from outer space or something. No matter what I try, it's so hard to,
They make it seem like you're trying to scam them. I'm like, dude, I didn't spend any money on this. I've just spent quality time, and I've earned, I've made some big earnings, and I'm always pretty upfront. Nash was talking about a Curie vote. I just got a Curie vote about a week ago on an education post that I made. I also teach. That's what I do for my day job. So I got a Curie vote, and man, I went from like rep 49 up to rep 51, and it was like over $100, and I had 140 upvotes. I'm like, oh my God, it was so exciting. So it's kind of cool hearing Nash talk about his first Curie vote. I'm sure anyone who's gotten Curied, that's a pretty amazing thing. And so I try to, show that kind of stuff to Facebook people. Like, man, how much are you guys making on YouTube? How much money have you made on your YouTube videos? Like, I gotten a couple DTube votes. Even I had made some money on my DTube. So I was trying to really convince them, like, you guys need to add value to this. This is a platform that doesn't rape its users. It's not exploiting your information. There's no ads. And I feel like it's definitely for and by the people.
Right, and I mean, of course, we have to reiterate, this is all just our opinion. So, I mean, results are going to be different for everybody. So, do your own research. Absolutely. But, it's a whole different world over here is what I would say. People are going to come here with the attitude that they have from other social media, and they're immediately going to find out that it's just not that way here.
You gotta approach it completely differently than like Facebook and Instagram, and what you did over there isn't gonna work over here. It's way more engagement.
Yes.
You really got to go out there and engage and comment and talk to like-minded individuals.
Yeah, you can't. The culture of kind of stepping on the person in front of you to get ahead isn't really going to work over here, I don't think, and that's my opinion. It's not like that here. I mean, it might be for some people, of course. But that typically is not going to really work out, and that's my opinion.
Absolutely. No, yeah, I agree completely.
So you said you're a musician, you're an artist. Do you want to talk about some of the things that you like to create?
Absolutely. So yeah, I kind of come from a background of rock music and metal and stuff. I've been playing the guitar over 10 years. I guess in my college days I was kind of full of anger and whatnot, but I kind of mellowed out a lot, got more into hip hop, electronic, ambient type of music. Got into producing my own music through Ableton, so learned to make my own beats. So yeah, I love making music. I love making art. I guess I've been doing it as False Idols for a few years now, about 5-6 years, but haven't really. I don't know. I have a lot of stuff. A lot of songs that I haven't put out there yet. I've been kind of apprehensive and trying to be, I guess, more strategic with how I release my music and stuff, because I don't want to do it all at once. You want all the songs to get the attention or the love they deserve, I suppose. And then finding Steemit, I've kind of backtracked just a little bit, because I'm kind of having to catch up, with what I was doing over on the Facebooks and the Instagram and stuff. So I've kind of posted a couple songs that I've done through my Facebook, but then I've been adding brand new songs through my Steemit, working on just bringing more artists over to the Steemit community as well. And I had mentioned the local Steemit group that I'm in here, the Rocky Mountain Steemit. They coordinate physical meetups. So I've actually met some of these people, and it's really cool meeting them. And we're trying to coordinate different radio shows. And then one of the members of the RMS, he goes by Intuitive Jacob, he's gotten approved for an MSP Waves radio station, and he asked me to co-host with him. So I'm going to co-host a radio station with him coming up. We're going to be, doing more music based and maybe talking a little philosophical and whatnot. But definitely really excited with how I'm able to, find a brand new audience with my music. Another really exciting thing is, through Steemit, a singer all the way from Israel actually found my music and really enjoyed it. I've been talking with her a lot, and so we're going to collaborate, and we're going to work on an EP together, put it on DTube and stuff. So I mean, it's just so amazing, as an artist to be able to collaborate with artists from around the world.
Somebody was asking if you're doing a show, right, on MSP Waves, is what you were saying.
Yeah,
yes.
it's gonna be a show, similar to this. I mean, not like this show because it's not an interview show. It's gonna be more music, but yeah, definitely a show on the MSP Waves. So Occupy Wallets, I'll definitely, and Occupy Wallets is in my RMS group too. Woo woo, got some more RMS people here. For sure, I'll definitely be reaching out and letting you guys know about that.
Cool, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting the dynamic sometimes how it works with sharing, things like music and art and things. It's sad sometimes to me that it seems like our friends and family maybe don't always support us in that regard sometimes. They do, of course, but maybe not in the way we had hoped. And then once you're able to share that with other people out in the world outside of your own community kind of thing, maybe you can get some different recognition or just eyes on your content in general. I know some people, maybe they hadn't even been creators until they joined Steemit. I know myself, I mean, I worked in radio and was a DJ and things like that, but I was never doing, podcasts or live streams or anything like that. And so because of Steemit, now I'm doing these things, and I'm doing a lot more photography and just all kinds of things. So it's fascinating to me how Steemit is changing people, and hopefully for the better, it seems like.
I think so too. Like I said, I do music and stuff, but Steemit really inspired me. Oh, and so we shared the Discord groups there. Definitely join those. The RMAE is one that I made, and there's also a second account, or an RMAE account I made also for curation. It's a really weak account, but there's a couple of Discord links there. But yeah, anyway, Steemit definitely has inspired me to blog. I've never blogged in my life before. And I've always been a pretty good writer, and so I've been blogging about some travels I've done in like Mexico. I'm doing a series now on education because I teach for a day job, and I see a lot of issues with the education system. So kind of voicing my opinion on that, getting the feelers out there, seeing if, people in other countries, if they are seeing similar problems in their education system, what are some solutions they've gotten to overcome that. And that the second education post I did was actually the one that got Cureed vote. So that was, extra inspiration to continue my blogging efforts too.
Awesome. And let's, of course, ask anybody in the audience if they, of course, have any questions, or Portux Snake, feel free to chime in anytime when you're back here if you've got questions for him as well. And no, it's great to see, you here, and it's awesome to have people like you here who are creative, that have content to create, to share with all of us. And it'll certainly be really cool to hear about if you are going to do a radio show and things like that. I hope that your music and your art can get some more views, and then you can kind of grow as an artist too because of the interactions maybe that you'll have here on the Steem blockchain.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And then, so Dante just asked if my songs were on D Sound. I've had trouble uploading to D Sound lately. I don't know if some people told me that Google Chrome works better. I kind of use Mozilla, but I've been uploading a lot of my music over to DTube. So all my music is over on DTube if you go onto my account. And I've been doing a video series called In the Lab with False Idols, and I've been inviting on local artists. Well, I've just gotten one so far, my most current video anyway. But I've been trying to use this as kind of a tool to help promote local artists who are not on Steemit yet, to show them, hey, look what we're doing over here on Steemit. Look how many upvotes it's got. It made this money, and I want to cut you half of the rewards this made. So when you make your Steemit account, you're already coming in with some SBD or what have you. So there's those. I've been recording those all in 4K with my DSLR camera, and I have all the audio coming out of my mixer through Ableton, going into the camera. So I've been really big on making sure it's the highest quality possible. I'm trying to add that quality to DTube, especially by releasing these live videos. I'm not putting them anywhere else. So definitely been big on that as well.
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, no, I think it's awesome to see, musicians and artists and authors and writers and all these creative people joining a platform like Steemit. I think it's really cool to have all these creative minds all together. And even if you're not somebody who does any of that stuff and you do whatever you do, blogging or anything that you like to do, it's cool to see people's uniqueness kind of being shown on Steemit.
Absolutely. And it looks like I have another question from Kazish. What kind of music do I do? Kind of a combination of just really chill out hip hop, ambient, electronic, kind of all over the place. I've made reggae songs, I've made dancey songs, I've made trap music, I've made hip hop, boom bap, just about every genre of music. I guess I'm kind of a little blend of everything, but definitely really chill out music. People tell me that it's good to just reflect on. So if you want to, definitely go give it a check out there.
What is boom bap? Blap?
Oh, I'm sorry. Boom bap. It's style of hip hop, more mid late '90s, early 2000s hip hop. Your Tupac, your Notorious B.I.G. Just the style of beat. The boom bap, boom bap. Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the words kind of signify, the kick drum and the snare drum in the beat.
Yeah, makes sense. Yes, absolutely.
I was glad that you asked that, Sneck, because I was thinking the same thing. So that's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
and
That's
I
cool.
I just need to add that I have heard him play the guitar live on Discord, and that was just amazing.
Yeah, Savo and I over on the this is actually where Snecky invited me over to the show over at the Whale Shares post promotion thing. And, after it was all done, everyone kind of just is intermingling and stuff. And Savo was playing some beats, and I was playing my acoustic guitar. It turned out pretty cool. I think it might have cut out a little bit, but I don't know. Everyone said it sounded pretty good. So
yeah, it did. It was amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, when you do your radio show, maybe you'll be able to incorporate something like that into your show.
Absolutely. And we plan on, definitely highlighting a lot of our local artists as well, and try to, again, entice them to come over to Steemit. When we share their music, Intuitive and I, we plan on, cutting them, basically just give them all the profits for whatever rewards it makes for their songs, just extra enticing. Like, you don't have to pay to get on. We'll pay you because your song did really good. So yeah, definitely really excited to help promote some other people as well.
All right, cool. We'll certainly keep an eye on that. Are there any, other things you wanted to mention that maybe you're working on or have planned coming up here that people could maybe keep an eye out for on your blog?
I'll continuously be releasing music. I have material for an instrumental EP I'm working on right now. I've already posted the single to that to one of the songs on my DTube account. It's called Kiss Me Goodnight. It's actually got my daughter's voice in it too. It was really cool hearing about Nash doing music with his kid. I ended up sampling my daughter's voice on this beat. It turned out really cool. I made a pretty sweet video for it. So definitely go check that out. I'll be dropping the EP. I want to release all my music initially, first. All my music does end up over on like Spotify and iTunes and stuff. But initially I want to kind of, bring it to Steemit and DTube and well, if I can get DSound to work, bring it to those platforms first, add that value. And but yeah, definitely I'll be working on that instrumental EP as well as full album I'm working on with a local singer. She just got approved for her Steemit, so she'll be coming over to a really amazing singer. Working on an album with her as well. And then, as I said, the other singer from Israel that I met over Steemit, be doing an EP with her. So about 2 EPs and an album coming from me. And I try to stay active and, post diversely, like different photography. I also make fractals on my page too. I'm big on making fractals. So if you see all the weird, trippy designs on my page, I made all that artwork myself as well.
Can you tell us a little bit about fractal art?
Oh, yes. Oh, man. I absolutely love fractals. So fractals are basically infinitely repeating geometries. They're self-similar. They almost look identical, but it's, just geometrical patterns that, self-repeat over and over and over and over again. And there are different computer softwares you can use to generate your own fractals. There's been people who have modeled fractals using different mathematical equations. And what these programs allow you to do is they allow you access to these different equations. You can kind of mix the equations up, change the numbers. So it's kind of like math and science related to art. I can't really draw, but I go into this program that my favorite is called Mandelbulb 3D. I can definitely spell that out if anyone was interested. But basically, it's experimental. Yes. It's experimental. So not a lot of people understand, the whole, like how the program works and what's going to create what geometry. So it's kind of experimental, but people share their formulas with each other. You can make animations with Mandelbulb 3D. It's a free program. You can also make 360. I've made some 360 VR. I wish that Steemit had a way to visualize 360 VR pictures and stuff, because I have a couple 360 images that are really awesome. And so you can make 360 VR images, 360 VR animations. It's just so crazy. A lot of movies use this fractal creator. You'll see it in a lot of like special effects in movies like Doctor Strange. I don't know if you guys have seen the Doctor Strange movie, but when they're doing all like the trippy visuals and when the world's like, folding on itself and everything, that a lot of those were actually generated using Mandelbulb 3D. So Mandelbro was the father of fractals. He came up with the first fractal formula that created his Mandelbrot set. But but then there's been other people who have made other fractals. But so I really like making fractals. It trips me out a little bit because each fractal is kind of its own infinite universe. And so I get a little philosophical with it because I'm like, man, time and space, it's just kind of trippy when you get into these fractals. You can navigate through them. And so, yeah, I like posting fractals as well. And then I do photography, but just trying to, add all this cool art to Steemit.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I'd have to check that out, I guess. That's something I've seen other people posting, fractal arts and stuff on Steemit, but I've never really looked into it. And I always did think it was really cool looking. Just really, like you said, just kind of trippy and different,
Yeah. It's crazy because, we see these geometries in nature. The universe kind of organizes itself into these patterns. So it's pretty crazy, the resemblance of what you'll see in a fractal. It reminds you of a lot of different things we've experienced in our own reality, I guess. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I when I go to fractals, I always get a little bit too excited. My head is going to explode, and I need to step down after, if that makes sense at all.
Yeah, it can be kind of mind numbing, especially when you can like navigate them. Like Mandible 3D allows you to kind of almost like go into them as a. It's really pixelated and stuff, but you can just keep zooming in forever and just go into something looks like a solid shape, but you can just keep zooming into it, and it's almost like atomic level. It's infinitely repeating, it like never ends. So it's pretty crazy.
Well, that's pretty interesting. So no, thank you for sharing that, and it'll be cool to see some of the things that you're able to create, not only for your music but your artwork. You said you do for photography too, so that's pretty cool. Sounds like you'll have a lot of different things that you can share on your Steemit blog.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. And so I try to cycle those out. I'm doing a music post one day, next day I'll do a fractal, next day photography, then maybe some education blogging. I'm trying to diversify, keep it interesting.
Nice. And so we can share your blog in the chat room one more time. It's pronounced False Idols, right?
It is, yeah. And so I spell it with the EYE in the middle. I guess philosophically, I guess, we can be slaves to our false idols. And to me, false idols are things that, we worship that make us think that we're above another human. And no human is above another human. If you think so, if you think that whatever, you're worshiping, whatever it is, and I don't know how, I'm not going to get too spiritual because I'm not very spiritual, but basically we're all the same person. You have to open up your third eye to kind of recognize we're all basically the same thing. So that's kind of the philosophy behind the name and the spelling of the name and whatnot.
All right, and Sneck just shared your blog profile link in the chat. Thank you, Snecky. And so, yeah, no, if anybody's, of course, interested in any of the content that he says he's going to be creating, you can certainly check out his blog on Steemit. Sounds like there's going to be a wide variety of things on there, and so we'll certainly keep an eye out for that. Of course, if anybody else has questions or anything in the audience, certainly go ahead and ask. False Idols, did you have any other Steemit users that maybe you wanted to give a shout out to that maybe you've interacted with so far, or maybe helped you out when you first got going or something like that? Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Definitely. So Lady Beetle, that's the singer from Israel. I'll just go ahead and drop her at right there in the comments at Lady Beetle. And then all my RMS people. So people like LP Faust, he's kind of the founder of the RMS group. He's been so helpful. He'll show me some love on some upvotes. If I have a post that's not making too much, he always seems to find those posts of mine, and I'll have a couple bucks in there. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. So he's always helped me out. And then of course Intuitive Jacob at Intuitive Jacob, really cool guy. I get along well with him, so we're going to be collaborating on some more music and doing that radio show and stuff. So.
All right, well, that's awesome. And let's see here. Poetic Snake, are you still here with me?
No, I'm in hiding.
Okay, just making sure you're still here with us.
Oh, okay.
Let's see here. So are there any other things before we kind of let you go here that you want to mention to the audience, or just any kind of parting words or anything like that, or anything else you want to mention while you're here on the show?
I guess I'm just, ecstatic to be over here to meet everybody, to network more, get the art out there, bring more people over to Steemit. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for having me on. I, was really excited about this. You even got me out of a meeting at work. I was able to leave a little early I didn't want to stay for that meeting anyway. I'm like, I got something else I have to do right now. So it's been a pleasure.
Well, that's hopefully that's a good thing. But yes, no, it's been certainly great to have you here. Poetic Snake, anything you want to add here?
Yes, it was amazing to have you here on the show. We met a few weeks ago, and I'm looking forward to your content, your music, and everything else that you are going to be sharing. And I hope we can talk again soon.
Oh, of course, I can't wait. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody. So that's let me see. We got to get back here. So of course, it is False Idols, and thank you so much for joining us here tonight. And it's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Oh, again, thank you so much. I'm just beyond overjoyed to be able to do this. It's not something you get to do very often. Promote your art, promote the community. So it's just been amazing what I see over here.
Awesome. Well, we'll look forward to it, and we'll probably bring you on the show again later on another day, and we can kind of give us an update of what you're doing.
Oh, man, I'd love to. Absolutely.
Awesome. Have a great night. Thanks for joining us.
You too. Thanks. And I'll be here to listen to our other great interviewee.
Awesome. All right, everybody. So that was our interview with False Idols here. Snecky, what did you think of that?
I liked it. I just like it. Talking about music and art, it always makes me happy. It makes me happy.
Absolutely. It's about 20 minutes after 6 here on the East Coast. Should be about 20 minutes after 11 UTC time. You're listening to the Main Event Interviews radio show here on MSP Waves Radio, which of course is part of the Minnow Support Project. This show airs every Wednesday night from 5 to 7 Eastern Time, which is 10 to midnight UTC, on mspwaves.com. And if you've missed any of the show tonight, I am going to be posting the recording of the show, and of course you can find all the previous episodes right on my blog. It's at Main Event. It's just spelled with the number 1 in there instead of the I. And it's great to certainly have you all here listening tonight. We've had a lot of people in the audience chat room, which is great to see. Thank you so much. If you're listening to the recording of this show and you want to check it out live, you can chat with us in the audience during the live show, can't they, Snack?
Yes, and we like to interact. So let's go. Let's interact.
Absolutely. So we're going to bring our third guest here onto the show. He's in the audience, or he's listening in the audience room right now. So I'm going to move him to live on air. So Shaz, hopefully you're ready. Here we go. Let's move him in here. Shaz, are you here?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, welcome to the radio show. How are you doing tonight?
Can I be honest? I'm really tired.
Well, hopefully we're not keeping you up too late here. We'll try to liven up the conversation for you.
Yeah, let's do that. If I have coffee now, I won't sleep tonight, though.
Yeah, that's probably not a good thing, no. Whereabouts are you in the world this evening?
I'm in Manchester in the UK.
All right, well, that's awesome. Joining us from the UK. Great to have you here with us tonight. And how long have you been on Steemit so far?
I joined in November, and I had like an amazing start just in terms of like my arrival, and I loved every second of my initial couple of weeks here. And then I had a little bit of like a hiatus during December. A few things had happened. I had a little bit of things going on in my personal life, and I sort of stepped away from Steem in the December period. And then in the new year, somebody that you know very well had a long chat to me and basically kicked my ass and said, get back on the radio, get back on the platform. And we, I have a lot to thank Snecky for in lots of different parts of my life.
Wow, you are very welcome, of course. And yeah, I remember that you went into that hiatus, and I tried my best, and I'm glad that I kicked your ass, because you are really a good person to be here on Steemit. Your content is something amazing in my eyes. It's my opinion, of course, but I am really, really, really happy that you came back and gave it another try.
Thank you. I'm actually really enjoying it. I was already enjoying it the first time, and then this time I've wanted to do it for ages. I've wanted to create content for ages, and I've let go of all of the inhibitions now. I've let go of all of the any kind of worries or anything that I had about it. Now I just take a camera wherever I'm going. I point the camera at myself. I film my vlogs. I get them edited, and I get them on YouTube. And it really doesn't matter to me whether so many people see them or so many people don't. I'm just enjoying the process, and that's what I like about it.
Now, prior to Steemit, had you been like a vlogger or a blogger, or were you a content creator before joining Steemit, or was Steemit the thing that kind of got you going with all of that?
Do you know, I was creating content in my business, but not, it wasn't online for like, it wasn't on YouTube, or it wasn't on like public forums. It was more like I was creating sales training videos for clients, and doing webinars for clients about, psychology of selling, motivation, things like that. But it wasn't stuff that was being uploaded. So there was no trail of it. Are you with me?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's interesting how a platform like Steemit, because of course sometimes you would maybe want to keep some of that stuff more private for business reasons or whatnot. You wouldn't just want to give it away all for free out online or whatnot, and that's your decision with whatever you're doing, of course. But some things you could share on Steemit and actually still get rewarded for it and help people at the same time, possibly.
Totally. I've found that I've always been comfortable talking. I've never had a problem talking, or like I've never had a, you know, apprehension about being on camera or anything like that. I always used to feel quite confident, and it's something that I always wanted to do. But when you get to a certain age, you think to yourself, I'm 37, so I'm from a generation where we sort of like came a little bit later in terms of pointing a camera at us and just talking. Are you with me? So I used to
Yeah.
think that maybe like vlogging, like who's gonna want to know what I'm doing with my day? And actually, what happened was I went on. I'm on Instagram stories a lot. I never got into Snapchat, but I was on Instagram stories a lot. And on Instagram story, I literally post from morning to evening. And it's a lot of just like people that I've been networking with over the course of time. But I'll get a good number of views on there and interaction on there. So that was the natural progression into then filming myself on camera and then uploading it onto DTube and Steemit.
Well, that's really cool to see that progression and to see you now bringing some of that content over to this platform where hopefully you can reach, of course, a different audience and, kind of get into a blockchain where it will be there and other people can see it, these vlogs that you're creating and things like that. And talk about what inspires you to do a vlog. Like what kind of usually makes you want to get the camera out and do a vlog?
On when I used to do it on Instagram, it's just basically talking about what I'm doing with my day, what my meetings are about, what workload I'm working through. It was more stuff to do with entrepreneurship. When I first came onto Steemit, I was just sort of talking about random stuff. I didn't really have a direction. And then as the new year's gone, I've sort of taken that entrepreneurship element from Instagram stories and put it on this platform. So what I'm doing now is I'm sort of doing what's called, I'm calling it an entrepreneur's journey. And I think I'm on vlog 6 so far. And it's just basically me taking you through. I've launched a brand recently called Cult Crypto, which is a t-shirt and hoodie brand, which I'm selling crypto themed tees and hoodies online. So it's just been basically me launching that brand, going around to meetings and things like that. And it's just taking a camera around and giving people sort of insight about what it takes to launch a business and run a business, as well as like trying to do all the normal things in your everyday life, looking after your kid, trying to create content for this platform. I think what I've always done is I've always been really good at getting my work done and not documenting it on a camera. So what I'm trying to do now is do all of my work, but also have the camera there to give a little bit of insight to anybody that might want to learn about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Snecky. Go ahead, Snecky.
Okay. Yeah, I also like that you show the things that go wrong in your vlogs and how you handle what goes wrong. Like with Facebook, for instance, with the Goliath slams. I don't know how you call it, but I love to see that. The real deal.
Yeah, I think that's part of. I don't think people. I've often heard it said that on social media, people create like a highlight reel of their life. It's not really like necessarily the truth or exactly the real picture. And in an entrepreneur's journey, I'm trying to show you that like entrepreneurship, it seems like it's one of the, everyone talks about cryptocurrency being a bubble. Entrepreneurship's a bubble because people have cottoned on to the fact that if you've got an internet connection and a laptop or a phone, you can call yourself an entrepreneur. Actually, there's a lot more that goes to it than that. But what you're talking about, Snecky, in terms of like things going wrong and you getting setbacks, that to me is the real world of business. Like you're always going to come up against, and as very much life as well, you're always going to come up against hurdles, you're always going to come up against obstacles, and it's how you navigate those and overcome those challenges which will then define your success or failure as a businessman or as an entrepreneur or indeed as a human person in the world.
Yeah, no, it's very well said. Of course, everything you hear on this show is always just our opinions and everything, but that's certainly good words to live by, and you gotta put in the work, to be successful, in my opinion. And things like Steemit, it is what you make it. If you don't put any time or effort into it, you may or may not get results. If you actually put some time and effort into it, hopefully, more than likely, you'll actually see some results eventually. It might take a little bit of time. It might not happen in the first day or the first week or even the first month. It might take a little while before you get a following and before people start really noticing your content. But I feel like most people who are still here after a while, they'll all tell you, most of them, that networking and reaching out to other people on this platform is what helped them the most. And I think that's really important.
But I think, I think that counts. That was the same sort of approach in real business. In any kind of, if you're in a company just working in a normal career, that would be a way to make success. Networking is the oldest trick in the book in terms of trying to make a success of yourself, because especially when it comes to business, people make businesses. It's not the brand, it's not the product, it's people that come up with it, and it's people who are selling it, and it's ultimately people who are buying it.
Yeah,
definitely. And sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Snecky.
Oh, I was wondering what inspired you to start the new brand. What was the name again?
Cult Crypto.
Oh yes, Cult Crypto.
Where did I get right? Snecky, I'm a bit of a clothes horse. I like
yes.
I like clothes and I like fashion and I like trendy things. Like I like wearing matching hats that match my top and things like that. And I wear things that signify, and I suppose we all do. We wear things that symbolize what we're into and our passions. And I'm very, very, very passionate and very into cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. And I've been involved with Bitcoin since like 2013, 2014. I actually used to go to, in 2014, I went to Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines, China twice to do presentations on Bitcoin. And I'm talking 3.5, 4 years ago, long before it was as popular as it is now. So I've been really immersed in the technology for a few years, and I just look around and there's not really like cool clothing to represent the community. And so I just wanted to create a brand that would give crypto enthusiasts cool t-shirts and hoodies to wear, so that if somebody asks them what they're into, they can say, well, I'm wearing my heart on my sleeve, but really they're wearing the heart on the chest, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting idea, and this whole blockchain and cryptocurrency. I mean, it's gonna create so many different businesses, in my opinion, and that's on and off the chain. I mean, like you're creating clothing and things like that that's inspired because of blockchain and things like that, and that's really fascinating. I know myself, I picked up a couple of Steemit t-shirts and things, and it's really cool to see how it's gonna hopefully create businesses for people.
Absolutely, absolutely. The beautiful thing is that we, when you're in charge of something like that, you can literally create things however you want, however you see them. And I don't know, Snecky, if you want to talk about it, but me and Snecky have been talking about doing like a little range for Snecky to do some designs, and I'm really looking forward to getting that collaboration going.
Yes, me too. I already made a few sketches, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I like to design stuff like that and collaborate with a fellow steamer I also call friend. It's just something amazing. So yes, I'm also looking very forward to that. Exciting, scary, and exciting.
Yeah, all the best things are.
That's true. And you have to do it to overcome that fear, right?
Yeah, we talk a lot. Me and Snecky talk a lot about overcoming fear and overcoming, stepping out of your comfort zone and things like that.
Yes, we do. Absolutely. And it's working. It's working. It's magical if you step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, and that's one of the beauties of Steemit is not only learning things like that, but you're interacting with new people. You guys have become friends and things, and that's one of the awesome things about this community is just the interactions that we're all having with different people in different ways, and it's truly fascinating how it's changing our lives in some cases.
Yeah, you're right. It does change your life. It really does change your life, because before I came onto Steemit, I'd never met Snecky, and now like we talk outside of Steemit and and Discord on at least on a daily basis, sometimes 2, 3 times a day, but at least on a daily basis, on a completely separate level, like nothing to do with what's happening on the platform, and I think that is really important.
Yeah, I think so too. Obviously, I like the friendship and I like to connect with people. And when you find someone who you connect with, that is just an extra level to me to the platform as well, which makes it even more fun to be, for me at least, to be here on Steemit.
Totally. And I just want to use this opportunity as well to say, like I think Snecky is like, I still don't think Snecky gets the credit that she deserves, but I've seen a lot of people on this platform say that they like to help minnows, and that they're going to help minnows, and that they intend to help minnows, that it's their intention to help minnows, however they want to put it. And sometimes, and I know you keep saying these are just our opinions, this is just my opinion. Sometimes I do feel that there's a little bit of a what's the word, ulterior motive, for lack of a better word. Sometimes I feel that some people do it with an agenda, but I genuinely think that Snecky does it with all of her heart to help people, and I think she gets a buzz out of that, and I think she really does enjoy helping others and spreading joy and helping those people come to terms with the platform, and that's something I really admire about her. She's helped me enormously.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm blushing over here and I'm being shy at the moment. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that.
Yes.
No, it's true. It's true. It really is true because, you know, I wouldn't be on, I'm literally like, I wouldn't even be on the platform right now if it wasn't for you. And on, you know, from the moment I joined, I think, you know, when it comes to Snecky, I think the first day I joined, we spoke. I don't know if you remember that in November.
Mm.
The first day I joined this platform, I spoke to you randomly in in a Discord group, which
Yeah.
I'm not like part of anymore or anything, but you know, yeah, we spoke on that day and like it was, yeah, you've had a massive impression on me, and I just wanted to use this opportunity to thank you publicly for that.
Thank you so much.
That's
I'm,
great.
I'm, oh, oh my gosh. Thank you. That really means a lot. And, you are one of my best friends here, and we grow closer and closer. And I really, I appreciate everything that you do for me as well. I like to help other people's, and the fact that I can make them smile because they start to understand something, or because I gave them a little opportunity to promote something that they are doing or whatever, that is what is, for me, is what matters. And you know I don't care about upvotes, I don't care about money, I care about friendships. And yeah, that is what matters to me. So thank you again. It's really you, yeah, my heart, it is you know.
Yeah, you're right, and you know, I genuinely believe you when you say I don't care about the money and I don't care about the. I remember you the first time you ever said that to me. You said, every upvote someone gives me counts, even whether it's a cent. It means something to me, and I feel like that now. And sometimes when I get an upvote from somebody, while I'm here, I want to shout out. I don't think he's in this um, server. He's called Solitix, but he literally upvotes every single one of my posts. And I might have interacted with him like 3 months ago on a post, but he upvotes all of my posts. And I was going to actually say in my next post that every time he upvotes me, I appreciate it. It means the world to me that he reads my content. Even, I don't know if you guys follow Gary Vaynerchuk on YouTube and like Instagram and stuff, but he says one is better than zero. And basically, what he means is that if you've got one person that views your content, that's better than zero people viewing it, and that everybody starts somewhere. So just enjoy the one person. So yeah, I just wanted to shout out Solitix because he listens and watches all my content, and I'm so appreciative of it.
Well, that's awesome. And yeah, no, and if you got any other users you want to give a shout out to while you're here, I always give everybody that opportunity here. And we're probably going to start winding things down here shortly. So if you have any other projects you want to mention while you're here, or any other, just anything. Some people come on and they talk about Discord communities that they've joined, projects they're working on, specific content, or just any other thoughts or shout outs that you wanted to give while you're here.
Um, I'm gonna shout you out, dude, because I think you do a fantastic job as well. And I listen to this show every single week, and I think you do a great job in bringing people together, whether it's newbies, whether it's experienced people, and you bring a nice variety to the show. And I know you put your hustle in as well, and I see you about all over the place doing live streams and doing this and doing that. So shouting you out, you deserve your credit as well. And just shout out to everybody that's here and everybody that's trying to. I think I've said this before. Steem It to me is like a bunch of weirdos and misfits in the best possible way. Like I've always felt like a weirdo and a misfit, and I think Steem It is like that. And we were talking earlier on, I think it was False Idols was talking about Facebook, and I've talked to people and they don't get it, and that's because they're just so tuned to like normal commercial world as it is. And I think that's why everybody on Steam it gets it, because we're all very different. I think that's so. Shout out to everybody on Steam it and Discord, and yeah, big up yourselves. Thank you for doing this, man. Appreciate being here.
Absolutely. It's certainly my pleasure. That was the intention of the show when I first created it, last summer, was to just make this a platform for people to come on here and share their Steem story. Come on here, tell us what brought you here, where in the world you came from, what you're going to blog about and post about, all of these things, because the stories are all amazing. It's always so cool and interesting to hear everybody's reason why they're here. And it's going to be different every time for each person. So if you're out there listening and you want to be a guest on the show sometime, certainly just contact myself, Main Event, or Poetic Snake. You can message us on Discord or Steemit.chat, and either one of those will work. And just let us know that you want to be a guest on the show, and we'd be happy to have you on here. We just need, of course, voice chat capability. So as long as you're able to do that, then you could be on the show. And no, it's certainly great to have you here, Shaz, as well. And it's cool to see, like you said, that you kind of took a little break and now you're back, and that's cool. And people should always feel like if they need to take a little break from posting on Steemit or whatnot, go right ahead. I mean, I think that will be fine, as long as you come back and kind of acknowledge that you took a break and things like that, and you might have to reach out to your followers a bit more. But it's okay to take a break, I guess, is where I'm going with that. So it's certainly great to have you here back with us posting on Steemit, and it was certainly great to have you on the show and to kind of learn a little bit more about you.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Shout out to everybody, man, and in the audience, everybody who's making nice comments, and everyone. Appreciate you all, man. And I'm always here every week just listening to your show, so thank you for doing everything you guys do.
It's amazing to have you here, finally, after such a long time. So I wanted to say thank you for being on and telling us about your Steemit adventures so far. And maybe sometime in the future you can come back and give us a nice update about where you are at that time.
That would be my pleasure. Thank you, man. Can't say it enough.
All right. Any last parting words you want to give to the audience here before we say goodbye?
No, just sending everyone blessings. It's super late here. I've been awake since 4 o'clock in the morning. Actually, I went to bed at midnight last night. I got up at 4. I drove to London at 5, and I did like a 15-hour drive round trip. I got back at like 8, fell asleep. Snecky phoned me up to remind me I was on the radio. So I'm just going to say peace and good night to everybody.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show tonight. We certainly appreciate it. Sneck, do you want to say your goodbyes?
Yes. Thank you for waking up again and being here. And I will talk to you soon. Get some good rest.
I'm already snoring.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we will certainly talk again.
For sure, Homer. For sure.
All right, everybody. So that was our interview with Shaz, and of course you can find his profile right on Steemit. We just shared that a few times in the chat. Sneck just shared it one last time. It's spelled SHEZSHEIKH is the profile name, so certainly check that out. And if you're interested in that, so that'd be wonderful. It's great to have him on the show tonight.
Absolutely. It was, all the guests were amazing, to be honest.
Yes, absolutely. We had Carl G. Nash originally on the show first, then False Idols was on the show second, and Shashake was on the show last. So that was awesome having all three of them on here tonight. So if anybody missed any of the show tonight, you can certainly catch the recording on my blog. I'll be posting that right after the show ends here tonight on my Steemit blog. It's, of course, just Main Event. It's spelled with the number 1 in there, though, instead of the I. Here, I'll just go ahead and throw that in the chat. A little selfish plug here.
Oh, my gosh. Really?
If you flag me, just don't flag too much, okay?
I'm going to flag you now.
All right. But no, it's certainly wonderful having all of you here listening each and every week. If this was your first time tuning into the show, thank you so much for listening. We've still got about 10 minutes left here. So we'll kind of chat with the audience here a little bit. Let me run down this list here. There's a ton of
What
people
list?
listening. All the people listening.
There, I plugged myself as well, because
Yes.
if you do it, I do it.
Yes, absolutely. So check out Poetic Snake's blog as well. She's, of course, posting lots of different content. And so a bunch of people listening tonight. The first username, ProSign K, I see in the list there. Ancapolo, Acid Yo, shout out to Acid Yo for joining us tonight. Great to see you here. A Nomad Soul, Kryptonic, Crystal's out there, Damian J, Dan the Man, Daryl Sprout, Dorth, Ezzy, Jack Johannes Hemp, Kazish, Kodax. I see Menno, Mogadi, Often Nice Coin, Pensive, Quoll, Rondon, Sargento, Savo, Simgirl, Soundwaves, Photon, Sparkles, The Bug IQ, 2 Flower, and Valued Customer.
Whoa, that's a nice list.
That's a lot of names. And of course, there's probably other people listening out there as well on other outlets, maybe not through the Discord server or whatnot. So shout out to all of you as well that might be listening on mspwaves.com. It's great having all of you here with us tonight and each and every Wednesday.
Yes, every Wednesday.
And of course, so this airs on mspwaves.com, and you can find a full listing of all the radio shows there as well. There's shows now every day, and they're all hosted by different members of the Steemit community. So if that's something you might be interested in, sometimes there's music shows, talk shows, interview shows, a wide variety of topics on there, but it's all on mspwaves.com. You can find the full schedule of all the shows.
Yes, and they are all made by Steemians, so that's even more amazing.
Absolutely. Sneck, did you want to mention any, you might as well mention your curation project again here before the end of the show. That's kind of your ongoing project that you're working on, right?
Yes, You Got Snacked is my little curation project. It's small, it's sweet, it's cute, and it's sharing a lot of fun. And I check the feed every morning, and I try to find good content by members of all the corners, also new members who have been here a little bit longer, and I try to bring a smile to them with an upvote. It's not a huge upvote, but it's an upvote, and then I will promote their post or account if you want in my posts. I share them on Monday and Friday, so if you're interested in seeing who I curate and why I curate them, have an eye on that. You can find all the posts on my account. And I also made a Discord for You Got Snacks, so if you want to join there, you can contact me and I can send you an invite to that as well. Oh, it's already shared. Thank you, ProSign.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, curation projects are always a good thing. Of course, we don't support plagiarism. We don't support, copy pasta and things like that. So it's great to see that you're out there looking at content every day and trying to support some undervalued authors. Yeah, vote for vote. Acidio says. Yeah.
I will vote for Acidio if he votes for me.
Right?
I mean, come on. I will follow him as well.
Yeah, right. And that's a whole nother topic that we could talk about another day. But yeah, but no, curation is certainly a good thing. It's we're both, of course, OCD curators as well. So we certainly are both out there looking for undervalued authors each and every day. And I think your You Got Snacked project hopefully will continue to grow and things like that, and it will get a lot bigger.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that curation is not only good for the people you curate, it's also good for yourself. You learn a lot just by reading other people's posts, and reading is just good for you. And I just faint. I did, yeah.
I was worried about you. I didn't want you to faint in the middle of the show because you got that follow,
Yeah, it's a problem. It's a huge problem. But this is my ghost speaking right now, and she isn't shy, so that's.
But yeah, no, we'll certainly keep an eye out for that, and of course your artwork and things like that that you're creating all the time as well. So we'll certainly keep an
Yeah.
eye out for all that stuff. I like those the artwork that you're making with the Steam logo. I think that's pretty cool how you're using the Steam logo and then creating new artwork with it.
Yeah, I like playing around with the logo, and I always call them doodles, but I got smacked on the fingers for saying that, so I don't know how to call them anymore. But I like to doodle with stuff, and I also like to doodle with the Steemit logo, because the Steemit logo, the three,
The
wavy
Steam
lines.
logo, the Steam logo.
Yes,
Right.
the Steam logo.
Right.
That is really amazing to work with.
Yeah, because I believe the Steemit logo, that's obviously a new separate thing. That's not what
Yes.
that's not what we're referring to. We're referring to the actual Steam logo.
Yes, the
So.
three, what are they? Wavy thingies, S's, I don't know.
Yeah, so that's what she's referring to. She's talking about the
Yes.
actual Steam logo, and
Yes,
she's
not the
created
penguin.
different artwork and things like that. I got one of them as the background on my phone, which is kind of cool. So yeah, no, it's certainly cool to see what you're creating, and we'll certainly keep an eye out for more.
I am going to create a lot more, so, sorry, that came out a little bit too excited.
And I mean, for me, I'm of course doing still my curating that I'm doing each and every day. I curate with OCD and Minnow Sport Project and MuxieBot each and every day. I'm primarily focusing on the introduce yourself tag lately, just to kind of welcome new users and try to point them towards things like the Minnow Support Project and other things that might help them in their Steemit journey. So that's what I've been working on lately. We have been doing some live streams. We've been testing the waters on DLive, and I've been trying to share some videos once in a while with DTube and things like that. So also been trying to kind of test the waters there. So keep an eye out for some live streams that Sneck and I may be doing, or just myself by myself, either one. But we've been doing a little of both, and so keep an eye out for those. We kind of do just general chats. We do some curation discussions. It's kind of spur of the moment, so keep an eye on our blogs for maybe some DLive streams. And I've, of course, been doing some gaming live streams also, if that's something you might be interested in. If you like watching video game kind of live streams and discussion and things like that, commentary and whatnot. I've got a couple of different channels that I post about once in a while, so you can keep an eye out for that. And, of course, this radio show that airs each and every Wednesday night from 5 to 7 Eastern Time, which is 10 to midnight UTC. It airs each and every Wednesday on mspwaves.com, and we are always looking for new guests, aren't we, Sneck?
Yes, absolutely. And there are people asking what games you play.
Lately, I've been playing some Xbox One games, and then I also really enjoy retro games. I have a pretty vast collection of old school games. I have basically every console from the 80s and early 90s and whatnot, so I like to play a lot of the old school games. And so certainly keep an eye out for that. And it kind of changes all the time, so I don't really want to mention any specific titles, but it kind of will be an evolving thing. But yeah, a lot of old school games, and as well as some modern games as well.
I wonder, would it be interesting if I do a live stream when I play the game I play? You know, I play, and I really love that, to play Snake.
Possibly. I mean, if you can make it entertaining, that's the biggest thing. I mean, you can't. Some people think they can just go play a game on a live stream and that'll work, but no, you got to make it entertaining. You got to add some commentary, something to it. In my opinion,
Why?
Of course. But yeah, we'll save that discussion for another day because we are running out of time here.
Oh, yes, we are.
But we certainly do appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Our 3 guests that joined us tonight. Thank you so much. And if you missed any of the show tonight, I will be posting the recording on my Steemit blog. So you can check that out there. If you want to support the show, you can always give it a re-steam, all the typical Steemit stuff that you could do to that. We'll leave it at that. But thank you so much for everybody who does support the show and everybody who's been a guest and just everybody involved at MSP Waves, all the great work you all do. Thank you so much. Of course, MSP Waves Radio and its owners take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by me or my guests on this show. Statements and show topics are not necessarily the beliefs of the radio station, and the material you hear on this show is provided for educational and informational purposes only. Everything you heard here tonight was strictly just our opinions. It's not advice. We are not experts of anything.
Do your own research.
Always do your own research.
I
Absolutely.
beat you to it.
But again, everybody, thank you so much for joining us here. We got just under 1 minute left to go. Snecky, you want to say any parting words here?
Yes, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you to the wonderful guests who were on the show. And I hope, and we hope, to see you all next week. Same time, same place. Yes. Thank you.
All right, everybody. And so again, you can find us on Steemit. She's at Poetic Snake. I'm
That's me.
at Main Event. It's just spelled with the number 1 in there instead of the I. And of course, you can find all the information about all the radio shows that you hear on this station on mspwaves.com. And you can find out more about the Minnow Support Project on Steemit at Minnow Support. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We will see you next week here on the Main Event Interviews radio show. Thanks for listening.